Hello, all. I'm Josh McDonald, and tonight's subject will be Hebrew wisdom literature and poetry. The subject of wisdom literature did not begin with Israel. It was a prevalent genre in the ancient Near East. There are several commonalities between the Near East wisdom literature and poetry and in that of the Hebrew nation. It was a common way of viewing and approaching life, which taught the young to conduct their lives properly and have wholesome morality. It asked questions concerning the meaning of life and the hard questions concerning life. It was handed down from generation to generation in both the common and nobility. There are distinct differences between Hebrew wisdom and the poetry compared to its neighboring Near East. Hebrew writings omitted the myths and the stories of multiple gods with their births, their wars, and their romantic exploits. The Hebrew nation was a monotheist, and the neighboring countries had many gods. The people of that time would have willingly shared their wisdom, so similarities can be found between the Hebrew writings and those of the Egyptian and Mesopotamian cultures. The primary difference was that Hebrew culture saw wisdom was rooted in the fear of the Lord. According to the author Alex Verugis of Discovering the Old Testament Story and Faith on page 243, ultimately wisdom comes from God. To study his created order is to learn about God and his will for humanity and the created order. In the wisdom and poetry writings of Job's, Psalms, Proverbs, and Ecclesiastes, there isn't one universal theme, but all of these writings are centered around one character, and that's God. Regarding the Christian interpretation of these writings, we tend to misunderstand some of the sayings because of the context, the language, and the style. Hebrew poetry doesn't rhyme sounds but thoughts and ideas. We can read books in their singularly and miss their meanings entirely. When we read them collectively, the wisdom and poetry books contain a different story altogether. The authors Scott Duvall and Daniel Hayes of Grasping God's Word on page 390 explain that the wisdom books are not a collection of universal promises. Instead, they are a collection of valuable insights into godly living, which, if taken to heart and head, will develop a godly character, a character that will make wise choices in the rough and tumble marketplace of life. Duvall and Hayes take the approach that Proverbs should be seen as the general rule, and Job and Ecclesiastes following as the exceptions to the rule. Psalms are the words of humanity to God, and still He is it all wisdom's center. Of all the questions and saying proposed about our lives and God, the universal objective is to nurture a relationship of trust, dependence, reverence, and awe of our Creator. I hope that clears up some things.